Hi guys, Happy New Year. I thought I'd better do a tent tour as I've been so lapsed with doing them towards the end of last year. I thought I would start the new year in a lot better way and hopefully a way to carry on. Like I always say, things get in the way and times get busy and then I just forget to do them. But I've got a little bit of time now, so I thought I'd do an update because I know a few people are interested. There are a few of you that watch these videos. Right, I am in landscape today, so I'm not looking at the camera. I'm in landscape because Andy keeps pestering me saying they're always in portrait. So I'm going to do one in landscape and we'll see how we go. There is a lot of new additions to the collection and I can't actually remember. It's been so long since the last video that I can't remember, you know, what has been added since then. I know a few definitely have, but excuse me if I say, you know, this is new and it's not. So let me spin you around. There we go. Right, and I will do my best to do some good camera work in this one because I've watched through some of my old videos and it is horrendous, but we will get better. We will get better. The main thing is that you can see everything. So I think we'll start this end. Let me zoom back a little bit. We will start on this. I'll do a quick go around the tent so you can just see how full the tent is at the moment. And yeah, we'll move our way around. So this is definitely a new one since the last video. This is a Ramaspina cross Vogelii. There was a lovely lady on the UK growers group who sadly had to part with her collection, and this was one of the ones in the collection. I went and picked them up. It was an absolute pleasure to meet her, Annie. Cannot thank her enough for some of these. I've got a few of the bigger plants downstairs, like there was a huge Miranda. That's downstairs on a stand near our back door because it will grow fine out of the tent. But yeah, so we've got, this one was a shock for me. This was one of my favourites in the collection that I picked up. Not my usual sort of picture. I don't really like these sort of slimmer ones and darker pictures, but this, I just love the contrast in that sort of greeny grey wing, and just this little bump on the hip really makes it, you know, a really nice picture for me. So yeah, really happy with that. We have got this is a new Rafflesiana cross Sibuyanensis. I believe this was called Nepenthes Suki by Borneo Exotics. It's quite an old cross and apparently quite hard to get hold of now, but this is a new one. Unfortunately, it's only come through recently and the picture that was on it has died in the last couple of days. But when I do videos in the future, you'll see those, hopefully. This was another one from Annie. This is a Maximum Wavy Leaf with the solid green by the looks of it. We have got, lower down, we have got some Drosera. Obviously these aren't the main part of my collection. I would love to give them more like that, like they had before, but they seem to be doing okay here. It's just that the Nepenthes take priority, unfortunately. They're still growing really well. That needs a real repot. There's so many in that pot, but yeah, they're doing all right at the moment. Down here we have got Maxima cross Talangensis cross Hamata. That was another one from Annie. We have got a Ludicea jewel orchid. This is flowering. I do pretty well this time of year. I always get flowers on it. It's got one stem there, a secondary stem and a third stem just coming out there. And we've actually got another 3 stems on it, so it's done really well this year. This is actually a bit that broke off it. This was my original plant. I dropped it off of a windowsill a year ago or so, snapped all the main hangers and popped a few in a new pot, and this was a new plant that come from it. And actually that has got a flower on it. This is the one, I have actually got this on eBay for sale at the moment. But they are just, they do really well in a shadier area. They grow at the bottom of the forest, so keep them at the bottom away from strong light, and they do absolutely fine. We have got a plant that never does well for me. This is a plant that is in a friend of mine, Andy Kitson, Nepenthes and I. It's in his collection and his one is absolutely fantastic, but for some reason it just does not like to grow for me. This is a Berbigiae cross Rob Cantley, and I think it's in the 2 years I've owned it, it's actually got smaller. It's just a plant that doesn't like my conditions, and sometimes you've just got to concede and say, okay, that I can't grow that. So yeah, it's just one of those plants. I would love to be able to grow it because it produces such nice pictures, but it's just something I don't grow well. This is a Rob Cantley cross Sibumianensis. This is a big plant I got off of Mark Griffin a year and a half ago, maybe a bit longer. He somehow managed to send a 4-foot plant in the post. I don't really know how he managed it, but he did a cracking job. And it has sulked a little bit since coming into this new tent, despite this new tent having better humidity actually. But as with all pitcher plants, they sulk until they get used to the conditions they've been moved to, whether it's a better condition or not. So it's putting on really nice big pitchers again. We have got a new one opened round here, I believe. Yep, it opened yesterday. Really nice. Puts on massive pictures, and that's just from the basils. So we've actually got 3 basils on the plant. It's really thick stem. There you go, you can sort of see it's as thick as my finger. And then that goes up and it goes to this main plant at the top. When it did come through, it did have a slight damage to the growth tip, which made the growth tip split. So it's grown these out since. Like I say, it has been sulking, so it graced me with this little thing, which I actually really like because it's one of the reddest pictures I've had on it. So it's quite nice, but it is now settled into the new conditions in this tent. And as you can see, it is sort of putting out pictures absolutely everywhere. Just please flower for me. This is a plant I really hoped would have flowered by now, but apparently plants in my tent do not like to flower anyway, so I'm not really surprised if I'm honest. We have got some Amorphophallus. I'm not going to go too far into those. You can look them up on Google, but they're called corpse flowers. And the most famous one is those big ones at the back. They are called the Titanarum, and they're the ones that Kew Garden grow that have a really big smelly flower. Well, flowers, it's an inflorescence, it's a collection of flowers. And yeah, so it draws a big crowd into Kew Gardens and other botanical gardens around the world every year. So if you are interested in them, have a look. And yeah, if you need any help in growing them, just ask. I'm not an expert, but I grow a few quite well. Right, down to this shelf, we have got Spectabilis Cross Mirror. A plant, a lot of these ones with the red tags in are probably plants I might get rid of. I don't know yet. They're just plants that I've got very similar pictures on other plants. So the Spectabilis Mirror isn't really that different to Spectabilis. So yeah, so we might be getting rid of that one. Next to it we've got Rob Cantley Cross Tenuous. Nice little pictures, but again, it doesn't light my world on fire. You know, I've got Tenuous, I've got Rob Cantley, and they're both better than the Cross. So I am restricted to the space I have. You can see the tent is already full, and so I've got to be picky. This is a Borneo Exotics 3734 Veitchii, a plain peristome. It does go gold as it ages, but I say plain like it's a bad thing. It's not really a bad thing, it's still a lovely shape. However, when you compare it to the striped ones in the same Grex, we have got one here that is absolutely stunning. Really nice round shape on that. I cannot wait till this next picture that's forming opens. There is a big picture just down there waiting to open. I might even just do a video when that one opens to show you, because as this picture opens, it is so bright with colour. The reds on the stripes are so bright, and then a couple of weeks of aging, it does that bronze, and the stripes are obviously still there, but they're lost in comparison to what they were. So I might just do a video just on that one when that opens, so you guys can see how good it really is. Not that it's not nice now, but I do prefer them when they first come out. This is another one of the 3734s. Again, absolutely stunning, and it is one that bronzes up again. Like I say, it's not that I don't like them, it's that I just prefer them when they first come out. This is a Loyai Veitchii Boschiana cross Veitchii Maxima Veitchii. This is a Grex 3 from Exotica Plants. I have got a Grex 1 and I will show you that in a minute when we get round to it. I like the Grex 3, I prefer the Grex 1 and you'll see why. I mean it's flared like this, but it's just a lot brighter colours and lots more striped. However, you know, this does put stripes on and we've got a nice new pitch coming there, so we'll see how it goes. Down on the next shelf, oh, I'm getting too old and these creak as I get down. Right, we have got a Spectabilis. We did have, unfortunately, a little bit of mite damage on this. It's good now, it's been treated, but if you're keeping this many plants, and I had a count up this morning of how many individual potted Nepenthes are in this, and it's not including the pots of seeds. There are 525 in here. So when you've got that many plants and it's not your job, you know, it's a hobby, so I've still got to work, I've still got to do other bits, I've got a family, every now and again you're going to get a pest, you just can't help it. So it's what you do afterwards. So it's been treated with fluoromite and you can see we've got a good new leaf coming now. So that's that one. It is still picturing nicely, but you do get slightly deformed pictures on there. We have got in front of it, we've got the Spectabilis Giant. Now this is one of the biggest pictures I've had on it. I know there's someone in the UK that tells me this is not a Spectabilis Giant, it's not big enough yet. It will get there, it will get there, and it's putting out, you know, bigger picture each time now, so it is really growing. Again, no flower, I really like that to flower. Next to it we have got a plant that is probably it is my favourite leaf in the tent. It just has these amazingly long leaves. And I don't know if the camera doesn't really pick it up too well, but you can see there is like a fuzzy line of hairs along the edge of the leaf. Let's see if I can pick it up better on this one. Oh yeah, you can kind of see it in there. And it's just stunning. This is Mantalinga Janensis. There you go, Andy, that's how it's said. And the picture on it is just, you know, you can class that as plain, but I mean it's the shape of it. That high peristome at the back is just absolutely stunning. One of my favourite plants for sure in here, and it seems to do pretty well for me. It always looks fairly healthy. It did flower. This was a while ago, I think might have had it in one of the videos. And just see the old flower stem there. It is a male, unfortunately. It flowered at the same time as one of my Veitchii, which was a male as well, and I was really hoping to cross the two. Not to be. We've got, here is a Platychila cross Burbigiae. This is actually a basil that I took off 2-3 months ago now, and yeah, really nice sized basil, and it's rooted, and it's putting out new leaves, so that'll be good. Just smash the light. We have got here, this is a Veitchii cross Mirror cross Burb cross Eddie, one of 3 plants of this cross that I've got, and my favourite one out of the 3. Initially it wasn't, I didn't really like it when it first started getting bigger, and I mean at this size that's how it was when it was going up, and it's nice enough, but when you get to here and you realise it's going to keep that yellow even as the picture ages on the inside, and it's going to fade to that red on the outside and darker, that, you know, that's changed my mind about this plant. All 3 of these crosses actually have really big basils on them already, so yeah, it's apparently a cross that really likes the basil. We have got on the bottom here, now this is a plant and a half, this one. You can see my other jewel orchids actually, we'll show you those first. So we've got a couple there. We've got this one in flower. And this one, it doesn't really show it well in the video, but when you get that out and you look at it in light, it looks like there is lightning on the leaves. That's the best way I can describe it. It's almost like all those little lines, they're almost like glitter. They actually shine. They shimmer as you change the angle of the light on them. Incredible plants. So if you can get hold of any jewel orchids, have a look at them. They're there for the leaves. The flowers all look pretty much the same as the first one I showed you at the beginning of the video. They come up, little white flower. That's not why you keep them. You keep them for this. So yeah, give them a try. They're not too hard. They just like a bit of dappled light. They don't like full light. A little bit, that bit of shade just, you know, from the other plants is just enough for them. Anyway, we will go back to the Nepenthes. This is the, which way round is it? It is Rob Cantley cross Veitchii, that way round. and it has started putting out a few smaller leaves, but that is because it is working on a nice basil down the bottom there. It has got such a tall peristomes, this plant. Let me see if I can get you in without blocking the view. Look at the height of that. Absolutely cracking plant. Really like this plant. And it has got a new picture at the back. Let's see if we can get this in. When you're working in such a small tent, it's so hard to get everything in camera. But there, ready? Look at that. So it comes out that really lime green, and then that ages and it browns up, you know, takes that Rob Cantley kind of stance of just going dark. Cracking plant, really hoping that'll flower. But we'll see if the basil slowed it down a little bit. We've got Ampullaria cross Aristolochioides, I believe. Yes, it's basically just a giant Aristolo. Slightly different shape, but yeah, really like those. There are two Peltata cross Attenburyi in this corner, but I just don't know if I can get the picture out to show you. I'll do my best. There we go. So just a really stripy thing. Not quite as squat as I was hoping, but I know that Peltata does sort of get more squat as it ages, so I'm hoping the Attenburyi will come through, and then the aging of the Peltata will also make it squatter. If you don't know me by now through the videos, I like sort of squat, small tubby pictures really. Tenuous, squat, Barriovici, stuff like that. They are my favourite. So if that Peltata Attenburyi, you know, squishes right down, becomes a bit smaller, I'll be very happy. Right, we've got a few seeds here. So something in the UK is that there's not really many people that grow loads of lowlands. It's really hard to get decent lowlands in this country, I've found. So I've bought a load of seeds and really hoping we can get some good ones. I've got a few higher up, which you'll see in a minute. But we've got some good crosses, different Ampullarias, Vikings, Suratensis and stuff like that. There are a few that aren't lowland in there, some Veitchii and stuff like that. But yeah, the seed side of stuff is really fun. It's fun to grow them out. Obviously not all seeds are viable, and not every seed will make a decent plant either. Just because it's germinated doesn't mean it's going to be a nice plant. However, it's fun to see how the different genetics and the different characteristics of the parents come through. And that is one of the sides of this hobby that I love, is just seeing those different characteristics from the parents come through, which is why I'm kind of gutted that I've not been able to make my own seed yet. But they're all 5 that I've had flower are male. So I'm not destined to do it yet, but I'm sure we'll get some seeds in the future. So these are a few of the seed groans that I've done, and as you can see, you know, these are all from the same pod, and the leaf shape is different, number 22. So these are all same seed pod, and the leaf shape on this one very rounded, that more Veitchii I like, and then you've got some that are a lot longer. These have had a feed about 3 weeks ago, and you just start seeing all these leaf jumps again, and that's what seems to happen once I feed. Sorry, I keep putting my finger in the way of the camera. I'm not used to doing it in landscape, so I'll blame Andy for that. We've got more seed at the back there, stuff like Loyai, Veitchii, Boschiana and Truncata, so very excited for some of them. There's a lot of plants here. I'm just going to quickly go through this because there's a lot of plants here that are, you know, plants that are probably going to be going from my collection. We've got Veitchii Philman. It's a nice enough Veitchii, but I've got some that I prefer, and I've got to be sensible. I've got to keep the ones I prefer. Wavy leaf maxima, things like that here. Oh, we do have, this is a Berbigiae cross Sibuyanensis. I've had this plant quite a while now, and this is probably the best picture I've had on it. Let's see if we can get that out. There we go. It's just like a fat burb really, which you'd expect from the cross that it is. And I've had that a while, like I say, but it's only created 2 decent pictures, which are the previous 2. That one, and let's see if I can get this picture out to show you. It has certainly got Sibuyanensis in when it goes old, when it gets a bit older, because it goes completely dark like that. So you do unfortunately lose the striping a little bit. You can still just see them through, but I would prefer it to be another one that just stays that creamy colour so you can see the striping. There are 3 tenuous cross peltata here. They are a fairly recent import. I've got 5 of them total, but there's 3 of them there. And they do create quite a nice squat little picture with lots of stripes. So looking forward to those as they get bigger. Here is a load more seedlings. So the number 23, one of my favourite crosses. This is a cross of 2 Barriovichii, and one of them is called Squat 1, and the other one, you may have heard the name, Supernova. Supernova is a male Veitchii owned by Tom Bennett in the UK, and it is a Borneo Exotics 3734, but it's one of the best ones I've seen. It's just got a really bulbous squat shape to it, really fat, really lovely peristome, very stripy. So I actually bought these I bought these seeds off of him hoping that I would get anything that turned out even half as good as that parent plant. And they're all number 23s are that cross. They're all looking really good. We've got a lot of leaf jumps coming. And actually we just have a new picture open on this one today. And this is probably the best striping we've had so far. If you can really see it, there you go, you can see the striping in there. So yeah, looking forward to those. They should be really good. I have 43 of them, I believe. I had 50 odd actually germinate. First 6 months I did lose a few, and then I haven't lost any since they've been potted in their own individual pots, rather than all together in their sowing pot. So yeah, done really well. 43 came out, 43 are still going. We do have a couple of little, this shows the difference between the strength of the seeds. Some plants are destined not to grow that fast. They've all been given the same conditions, but these 2 are a lot smaller than some of the others, and these are sort of the bigger ones. So yeah, massive difference. Lots of other little seedlings there. I'm not going to go through them all because there are too many different crosses in there, but some very promising things for the UK for the future. We've got up here, this is another new plant. This is from Annie again, and this is a Rob Cantley cross ventricosa, or it is the reverse. It has opened a new picture since being in my care. So that was the one that's just opening as I got it, but it has opened this since. And actually I know Tim Rice has one of these, and it is huge. And it's just a really nice cross. I mean, Rob Cantley is stunning anyway, and ventricosa adds that sort of ease of growth to the plant. So yeah, that's a good cross for anyone that particularly wants to grow them on windowsills as well. They're pretty happy growing on those. We've got in the corner here, this is my big Babijae, the one that in a few videos ago I had issues with. This was in the previous tent as well, issues with the leaves going yellow. We can see it's happening again. It's because I have upped the light in the tent. I've upped the light in the tent for a couple of reasons. I've increased the length of the days by an hour, and I've also increased the 2 big Mars hydro lights at the top of the tent behind me from 50% to 75%. Main reason being I'm trying to encourage some flowers, but also the colours that you get out of your pictures. I will show you what I mean in a second when we get to a plant that's just down to my left. I'll show you what I mean. But this plant is obviously hating it again. The leaf at the back here and the newer ones are a lot greener, but it really does not like strong light. So it's just one of those, it's going to have to cope with it. It has put on a lovely picture at the back here though, if I can get this out. This is pure burb. It's not the biggest picture I've had. Again, it's one of those that you don't get massive pictures out of it if it hasn't got good light, but if it's got good light it gets these really awful yellow leaves. So I've just got to find a good balance between the two. and it does take a while to get to that balance. We have got a cross here made by Matt Richardson in the UK. This is clone 2, I believe, of Flava cross Sibuyanensis. I think these look like flowers. It's an absolutely stunning cross from Matt, this one. Really nice sized pictures. It took a while for this plant to produce good sized pictures for me, but I think being up the top in the warmer part of the tent and getting really strong light seems to have done that. It's got another one through there. There's quite a few actually, you can see them. And it has actually activated, just about to see that, a growth through the bottom there. So yeah, that plant is doing very, very well. Right, what else? We have got Burb Eddie, Burbigiae cross Edwardsiana. Absolutely stunning plant. So that was the last intermediate on the plant, and actually straight after, about 2 days after that opened, the first proper upper on the plant opened. So I'm just hoping now for a basal growth so that we start getting some lowers, because the lowers are just, I mean, the uppers are nice, but the lowers are just something else. It has had a repot, so it'll probably slow down, but hopefully that'll also encourage a basal. At the back here we've got Ampullaria green. I know some people struggle to grow Ampullarias, but this is one of the lowlands I mentioned. This is Ampullaria green. There we go, and that creates these sort of basal rosettes at the bottom here. Sorry about that. Through here, if I pop that leaf out of the way. See that pot there? I love that. They just grow loads of pictures at the bottom, because I believe that Ampullaria is not strictly a carnivore. It's got that little lid that's moved out of the way, designed to help it catch falling leaf litter and gets, you know, food through that way, which is why it creates these rosettes at the bottom of just picture after picture after picture. So it yeah, it's a little bit different to other nepenthes in that sense, and it's just, yeah, it's just nice to have in the collection. I'm hoping I can create some really nice lowland crossovers with that if it ever flowers. It's getting quite tall now. We've got the back here. We have got Raja Veitchii. This is my big Raja Veitchii. You can just see the pictures there. It's got two. This is off of the basil. Let's see if I can lean in and get that. And I know this is one that Andy loves because it's got quite a tall back to it, a little bit different to his one. I've actually got 3 of these plants now, because I did get one when I picked up that collection, and I did also pick another one up in the summer that's a slightly striped one, so I'm going to have to see which ones are my favourite, because I cannot keep 3, they're big plants. We have got here, this is a plant from Mark Rouse. This is a Veitchii cross mollis, or mollis cross Veitchii in the reverse, and this needed a repot 6 months ago, if I'm honest, but I was so busy and it got a repot about 2 months ago, and we're just finally starting to get pictures on it again. So again, I might do another video on that when it opens, because it is a stunning plant. I just wanted to, again, basil, so I can send one back to Mark, because I know he regrets selling that plant. So as soon as that basil's, Mark, it is yours. It's got your name on it. Right, we'll pan down to here. I don't want to show you that picture just yet. And that picture. We've got a Brigsiana. I think it's about time this collection had one in it. And absolutely lovely picture on that. Lowii cross ventricosa. And not only do I own 1 now, I actually own 3, because there's a pot there with 2 in as well, and that was again from Annie, the collection that I picked up. She had them, and yeah, I should have got one a long time before, really, because that's absolutely stunning. So let me show you the picture that I've just teased you with. This is Lowii Veitchii Boschiana cross Veitchii Maxima Veitchii Grex 1. So you remember Grex 3 over here? This is the Grex 1, and it is just so bright. And this is the plant I was going to show you the difference that you get with having better light. So that is the picture that's just opened. As you can see, it is so vibrant, so bright. Now, a couple of pictures ago, when I had the light on 50%, that right there is the picture. It is a massive, massive difference. It's not that it's not nice there, but why would you want your plant producing that when you know it can produce that? I did know it produces pictures this bright because I had it on a shelf under quite good light in the previous tent, and I did have a picture like this, and then when it moved into this tent it was stuck on this top shelf here and the light just wasn't bright enough to produce these. So up the light, and that's the most recent, and then the one before it, which was the first picture it produced in the good light, is there, and you can see absolutely stunning. Again, really, really well striped, really vibrant. It is a plant that is getting absolutely huge now. There we go, that's better. Absolutely huge. It's another one that refuses to basil for me, but it's definitely vining now because these gaps between the nodes are getting a lot bigger. So hopefully send it up up over the top of the tent and it'll get a flower off it. Right, we will come to another couple of the lowlands that I've got at the top here. So it's this plant here, this big one with the big red leaves, and this goes down to this stunner. This is why I like lowlands. Look at that. It's almost a ball, isn't it? It's just so nice. And that is Viking Cross Ampullaria. Big old wings from the Viking, and then the shape from the Ampullaria. This comes out, it's quite green and striped, and then it goes this goldy colour at the top. Absolutely lovely. Really, really like that plant. It's got 4 basils come out in the last couple of months. Don't know if I might be able to move that to show you. Yeah, see that? You might be able to just see them all in that pot. Let's see if I can move that. There we go. Loads of them at the bottom of the pot. So hopefully in the future I can remove them and make some new plants for people that want one. Bring you down to Viking Cross. So that one was Viking Ampullaria. This is Viking Cross Ampullaria Black Miracle. So you'll notice that this is a lot darker on top. And that one really is just a ball. It's just perfect. Really big Viking wings again on there. And that's why I like the lowlands. So if any of the seeds that I'm growing out at the moment produce anything like this, I'll be very, very happy. And then probably the only one to show you on the top here. So you remember I said down here we've got this cross that is Squat One crossed with Supernova, Tom's lovely Veitchii. I bought those to try and get something as good as Supernova. Well, thank you, Tom, because I actually own a cutting of Supernova now. This is a cutting from the actual plant. So it has produced this little picture from its like first opening. And the cutting is now getting, it's taken off. And round the back here, let me turn it the other way actually. Around the back here, it's just about to get a proper picture on it. So yeah, I would definitely do a video when that one opens because that is going to be spectacular. And I cannot thank Tom enough for that. I never thought I'd own that plant. It is probably the best 3734 I've seen. I mean, that Grex in particular just are really nice. My 2 striped ones that I've got over here. And I've seen so many other people's and they're just lovely, but this one is certainly my favourite that I've seen so far. And yeah, I never thought I'd own it, so cannot wait for that to get a really good size. It is a male. I would love for it to be a female, but it's just one of those things that's not going to happen. Male or female, that is a certain prize for the collection, that one. We have got one more picture I'll show you up the top here actually. It is an Albo Marginata Red. I like this one because a lot of the Albo Marginatas that I see, the reds have a red peristome. This one gets a green one. It's just a really nice contrast with the white margin that they have. So yeah, really like that. Right, I think we're actually about halfway around the tent now. 34 minutes. Oh god, we better get a move on then, hadn't we? You guys don't want to hear me yabber on for over an hour. So we will take this one first. We'll go top to bottom again. This is Truncata Squat Cross Nebularum. This is an EP plant that came in recently. I've had this about a month and a half now, and that picture actually has lasted since then. I'm quite surprised. I did spray the lid when I first got it because the lid started to shrivel, and it seemed to have revitalised the picture, and the picture has stayed on. But this plant is absolutely huge. I mean, I don't know if you can see, but that leaf, look at that, that is absolutely massive. The picture is lovely when it's like this, but when it first comes out, it has all stripes and it's very lime green here, and it starts to darken up from the outside, and it eventually goes fully dark like that. Nice enough when it's like that, but when they open, there's something else, and we actually do have a brand new leaf on it with a really nice sized picture by the looks of it forming. So very, very excited for that. We've got the back here, we've got Mammoth. You have seen Mammoth in previous videos, but it has had stronger light, and we have now got these tendrils that are almost luminous. I mean, the camera doesn't pick it up fully. And Andy was actually here for the first time. He did pop in. Thank you, Andy, for coming and seeing me. He popped in a couple of days ago and see my collection in flesh for the first time. He could not believe what I can fit in this tent. I mean, I still can't, and I see it every day. So yeah, he will tell you exactly how bright that tendril is. It's almost glowing with the stronger light up the top here. But weirdly, it has meant a stronger sort of colour on the tendril, but the pictures have actually gone a really creamy colour. See if I can get that one out. There you go, really, really creamy colour. Sort of merging into pink. That's the first proper upper on the plant as well. So yeah, really, really liking that. We have got, this is the Burb Platy up the top here, or Platy Burb, the reverse possibly. That I got the big basil off earlier in the video, and that is just creating some uppers, so they should open soon. We've got another new plant. This is a lowland, a new addition to the collection, and this is a Viking. So this is one of the crosses in the Viking ampullarias over there, not this exact plant, but this is what gives it the wings. You can see those wings now. So yeah, hopefully in the future that will be some good breeding material there. We have got at the front here, this is the other new EP plant. This is Nebularum crossvichii maxima vichii, and that has just put on a new big leaf, not as big as previous ones, but it, you know, it's acclimatized to the tent, and it seems to now be making a move. So hopefully we'll get some nice pictures on that. Hopefully a flower in the near future. Certainly a big enough plant. At the back here we've got Christian Klein Veitchii Candy Cross Candy. Now this plant is, I mean, you can see the size of these leaves. It is absolutely huge. That's the top plant, and then I'll just show you here. That is the basil leaf. They are absolutely massive, and it's a plant that actually a few occasions I've considered selling as it's been growing. I've had it about a year and a half, and it didn't really do much for me. The pictures were nice enough, but again, when you've got space constraints, you have to think like that. You just have to keep the ones that you like the most. However, I say that and then it does this. These are two newest pictures. Let's see if I can get out with breaking everything. Two newest pictures on this plant. This is the basil one. It knew I wasn't that impressed with it, so it's produced this, and that's the basil. And the main plant, sorry for my shoddy camera skills here, but there we go. It then goes and produces those. I mean, it knew, didn't it? Because look at that. How am I going to get rid of that? I can't get rid of that. That's prime plant, prime breeding material. And I actually have no idea how this plant has not flowered yet. I'm really hoping we might get one soon. The plant is more than big enough. So please flower for me. Need to start making some crosses. Want to, you know, see some of the fruits of my labour, and get some of my own crosses done. It's such a big achievement to flower a plant. Then the next achievement is to make seed with them, and then the biggest achievement, I suppose, is flowering a male and a female of your own at the same time and making your own seed. So yeah, so that's the sort of goals that I have in my head to do. We have got here, this is Gothica. So this is I believe an EP plant from quite a while ago, and this was a cutting off I got off of Mark Griffin. The actual pot to this plant is down on the floor down there, and it's just created a basil now that the plant is 8 foot tall. We'll follow the vine up so you can just see how far this plant goes. Up there, up the back, all the way over. It comes over here, and there you go. So that is Gothica. This tent is 7.5 foot tall, and that is bent under, so it's at least an 8 foot plant, and it's only just basiled, like I say. But I really like the uppers on this plant actually. You get the occasional stripe like this. So yeah, it's one of those plants that the lowers are fairly nice, but the uppers are actually really, really nice on this. We've got Berbigier, or Berbigie. I mean, I've always said Berbigier, but I've watched a few videos recently and they've called them Berbigier or Berbigie plants. So I don't know, I suppose it's however you sort of feel it's right to say. But that one comes out really red and quite creamy coloured, and then it goes that dark colour. Don't really lose the stripes, but again, it's one I'd prefer it didn't really bronze up like that or red up like that. It is working on another picture, you can just see it through here. You can see in that shot here, we have got, this is Berbigier cross Veitchii, or is it the reverse? No, that is correct way around. And this is probably, this was the first big plant I bought. It was a good size when I bought it. I mean, it's a lot bigger now, but I had a lot of small plants at that point, and then I bought a bigger plant. And let me just get that out so you can see it in its full glory. Look at that. That is absolutely stunning. How can you not like that? So that is a plant, you can just see it's aging now, it's bronzing up. It's been out about 2.5-3 weeks, and this one does bronze up, so it's produced that picture. It's stropped again. It was a stroppy one when we moved into this tent, despite it being better humidity and probably a better environment for it, but it's stropped and now it's used to it. It has produced a big picture there. There is a big one at the back which I won't get, but I will show you the next one that is just working on over the back there. See it against the wall? So yeah, it's a big plant. I mean, this is now starting to fine, so we're getting smaller leaves, but it is a huge plant, trust me. Massive. Look at that. So that is the one that bronzes up. I didn't show you the other one actually. It's over the other half of the tent, and this is the same cross, but this one obviously were two different. It was a different Veitchii and a different Berb, and that one keeps that nice colour. It doesn't bronze up at all. So that was the reason I kept that one in the end. I was going to sell it, and it's turned out to be really nice. It doesn't bronze, doesn't lose any of the striping, so one that I really want to keep. We've got Tenuodon cross tenuous. This was one I got about 3 months or so ago. It's kind of like having a giant tenuous. Not quite a squat, but it's a really nice plant. It's actually produced 2 basils. It did that within about 3 weeks of me having it. So yeah, really happy with that. We have got this, so I've probably said this before, but Bicalcarata. This is probably the plant that is the reason I'm standing in this tent doing this video today. I see a picture of these a few years back, and I didn't think it could be real. They don't look real. Why would one of these grow fangs? I don't think anyone's really answered that question yet with this plant, but I mean, you look at that, how would that not entice you into this hobby? Absolutely stunning. I'm lucky in this tent because the top is a lot warmer than the bottom of the tent. There's usually about 4 to 5 degrees difference in the day between the bottom shelf and the top shelf. So it means up the top I can grow a lot more lowlands, and they seem to do pretty well. I mean, would they prefer a little bit higher? Yes, of course they would. I'm sure they would. But they do okay. And this has actually just opened another picture. Let me get this through for you. There we go. Look at that. And when they have the nectar on the fangs, they look so sinister. So sinister. So yeah, Bicalcarata, the reason I am in this hobby probably. Right, let's move down to the next shelf. I'm sure there's plants I've missed, but you know, if there's anything that as I've been going around, you've spotted and gone, oh, he didn't look at that plant, he didn't mention that plant, I wonder what that is. Just try and point out roughly what shelf it was on with like the plants, and I will try my best to, you know, let you know what it is. Just ask in the comments and I will let you know, maybe even do you a little video for it. So we have got down here, this is a Veitchii cross Burbigiae cross Platychila. So I'll show you the new picture that has just come out actually, because this one's quite a funny plant. So this has been out open a couple of days, and actually even since yesterday it has started to change colour a little bit. But you can see most of the stripes are a nice red colour, lots of stripes and a red colour. This is a cross by Mark Griffin in the UK, he made it himself. And I've actually got 3 plants of these. I've just sold one of them, but the other 2 I'm keeping. I can't keep 3 of everything. But that comes out stripy red like that. And then as it ages, oh, it just gets better. Because the stripes change to dark red, they change to brown, so you get this real contrast of different stripe colours. Absolutely stunning plant. I know he kept a few back. You know, I need to ask him how they've turned out, because all 3 out of this cross that I got of him are absolutely stunning. I wish I had the space to keep all these plants, but I just don't. Right, we have got. So you remember me earlier on saying that I like squat fat pictures. Well, this is Sibuyanensis cross Merrilliana. You want fat, you want squat. This one that I've got, because I know they can get a bit longer and bigger than this. But look at that. Now that is a fat squat picture, isn't it? That has my name written all over it. I just love that. Absolutely love it. I've got 2 of these plants actually. So there's that one, which is I believe that's the newer Grex from Borneo Exotics, and then this is the older one. It's a bit of a different shape. As you can see, it's still a weird shape, but it is very, very different, not as squat. And out the 2 plants, I mean, this one goes in little growth spurts, and then it will then grow 4 or 5 leaves at the same size, whereas that one got bigger and bigger and bigger. So for some reason that one just don't like me as much. We have got in the back here, this is Veitchii cross Platychila, and then it is back crossed with Platychila, so there's a lot of platy in here. And this is a plant that the first few pictures I had on it when it was smaller, I didn't like the plant actually at all, and it started to get this flare to the peristome because it never had that on the first few pictures. You can see the older picture on here, a lot less flare to it, but as it's got bigger, as it's got older, they've become better. And it is one of the plants that actually holds so many pictures. It's got 1 there, 2, 3, 4 come out there, there's another 2 this side, so it's got 6 pictures held on it. That is the newest one. Just a really nice cross. Again, the uppers on that, with it having Platychila in it twice, should be really, really good. We've got a plant here that came in a little while back. It is, you can see it there, it's not looking too good. It was a bit cold damage when it come in. However, you can probably just see in the centre there, a little green, just about touching it there, you can just see it, little green blob in the middle. It's got a brand new growth point coming, so it's going to be fine, which I'm really happy about, because this is the picture on it. Let me get this out. You ready? You ready for this? Look at that. Absolutely stunning. I'm so glad I've not lost that plant. That is Peltata Yellow Phantom cross Lowii. I've been told these plants get really, really big, so I've got 2 of them, and that was my favourite out of the 2. I've kept the other one as insurance at the moment, but I think once this one bounces back, I might sell off the other one, because that is by far my favourite one. We have got here, this is a seed-grown Sibuyanensis. It kind of has 2 tones, so you get this yellow at the bottom of the body, red at the top. It has got a new picture on it. It might have just opened actually, because a couple of days ago, it has. There we go, that shows the 2-tone better. So it gets red at the top and sort of greeny yellow at the bottom. Oh, don't tip the liquid out. There we go. And that is a seed-grown Sibuyanensis. It's a lot longer, not as squat as some of the Sibs that I've got in the collection. We have got, let's get Ugly Duckling out for you. I know Andy has one of these and has shown it in his videos before. When this picture first opens, it's awful, to be honest. It's just this plain red peristome, the stripes just almost appear from nowhere on this plant. They open and they look like they're not going to have a single stripe on them. Then within about 3 days, the stripes will start appearing, and then it starts to darken up and these ridges start to come in on the peristome, and it just changes it. Yes, it's an ugly duckling. It changes from a cygnet to a swan. As simple as that. That's why we've coined it that, given it that name. And it's a plant that, yeah, initially I was not impressed with. And now, and it does seem to be doing better warmer up here, now it's really taking off, and it's got a new picture there to come out soon. So there we go. We've got behind it, this is Andy's favourite plant in my collection, I think. This is a Sibuyanensis cross Veitchi cross Lowii. You will notice the leaf on this is pretty bad. So this was lower down in the tent, and I think that leaf probably got a bit too near light. It also did have a problem with mites. As you can see, it had issues here, but it's been treated. We have gotten over that, and it is now blessing us with a lovely new leaf. So, and it's a good leaf jump as well, I believe. Get that out without breaking it. So there we go. You see there, they can have pests, they can look bad. Your main focus is the new leaf. Get those pests sorted, get them treated. Once those new leaves start coming through, you just need to forget about those. This is what it's all about. That's how you're going to judge your health really on it. Keep them looking nice. We've got Rafflesiana Bacco down here, just putting on a nice new picture. Shame that one's not open, because that's a really nice picture when it is open. But that is getting a nice size now. Oh, shame again. This was a new plant coming in, and obviously the picture has now died off. Oh, let me get the tag out. This is a really long cross. It's an EP one. So it's Sibuyanensis squat cross Platykyla, cross Fusca. So that one, you can see just from the dying picture that it produces really nice pictures. So can't wait for that to sort of acclimatise and start looking its best. We've got Berbigier cross Campanulata. That is a new picture coming out there. And there is also a picture around this side that I'll get, which is a bit more of an aged one, so it shows the colours a little bit better. There we go. There's a lot of plants in the collection you'll have gathered from when I've been talking about them, that initially or at some point I didn't like throughout me owning them, and they've changed my mind or whatever. The Berb cross Campanulata is one that I liked right from the start. As soon as I got it, put its first picture on, I've never not liked that plant. It's always had a place in the collection. Mine is quite a light creamy coloured one actually, and I see a lot of other people's quite green. So I don't know if that's because I do have it sort of at the back of the shelf, so it is a little bit further away from the light here. So you can see as a distance, it's not getting great light, but that might keep it creamier. So yeah, so I'll keep it there. I like it like that. We've got Truncata alba. Without a doubt the biggest picture I've had in the tent. Absolutely massive. Although I say that now, actually looking at that and then looking at the LVB VMV, that it's not far off. I think the Truncata does just top it actually, but that is an absolutely lovely plant. I'm really hoping this will flower at some point. It is working on, well, it's done the massive leaf at the back there, and it's got a new picture. You can just see it right, I'll point on the camera there, just popping out. If that's anything like the size of this, I'll be happy again. We've got Rob Cantley here. So this is a plant from Mark Griffin. I didn't know at the time of purchase that this is actually from Borneo Exotics' first release of this plant, which was, I believe, Queen of Spades cross King of Hearts, or the other way around, Queen of Hearts, King of Spades, and which explains why it's really flared. This one, a really nice example of a Rob Cantley eye. I'm not going to get into the discussion of is it a species, is it not. It is Rob Cantley eye, and that's what it'll always be labelled as in my collection. So yeah, cannot thank Mark enough for that as well, because I've seen quite a few Rob Cantley eyes, and actually there's only a couple here and there that I like. This is one of them, and that's why it's, I think, because of the cross it is. It's really flared, really suits the sort of pictures that I like. We have got, and I need to get a move on because I'm sure you guys don't want me to waffle on for any longer. So we've got a couple of shelves left to do, and then a small little shelf on the left. This is a new plant in the collection. This is a Ventricosa Red cross Peltata Red Phantom. And if I take you to this picture, you'd almost be thinking that the peristome is just red all the way around, not, you know, nothing at all. If I go in closer, you'll actually see that that is just made up of so many stripes, so many stripes, and you see it better in this new picture that's not quite got darker yet. The amount of stripes on this plant is just incredible, and against that sort of yellowy speckled body, yeah, that's going to be a real one to watch. That's a real recent plant that only came in a few days ago. That is one I'm very excited for. We've got over the back here, this is so I've got the two Burb Veitchii up the top. This is Veitchii Burb from Exotica Plants. That is a plant that is growing so fast, probably the fastest growing in the tent at the moment. And we have got a lovely picture going to open soon. Really nice, really looking forward to that. We have got, can we get this out, because this will be nice to show you. So this is Veitchii cross Lowii cross Rob Cantley eye. And this, when it comes out, is very red in its stripes and green around it. Let me plop that there, and then there we go, that's better. It is a plant that comes out very red striped, very green in between, and it looks lovely. And actually, although it bronzes up, I do really like it still at this stage. I can't actually decide whether I prefer it before it bronzes up or after. I like both. So yeah, it's probably one of the slowest growing plants in the tent now, I must say that. And it is working on a new picture. It is starting to leaf jump, which is good though to see. In front of that, we have got, this is a new one to the tent. This is Truncata cross Peltata cross Edwardsiana. Picture is going over, I think, now, but good teeth there from the Edwardsiana. So really looking forward to that getting bigger in the collection. Right, two shelves on this one to do, although these are probably the two most involved. Let's see how we go. So we've got Velosa cross Veitchii here. Really nice sized plant. Can't wait for this next picture to come on. I will probably do a video for that one as well when that comes out, because that should be lovely. It's so toothy. At the back we have got a Peltata there. You can see it's got a couple of basils on the bottom, and it should just put on a brand new picture there. We have got here a Veitchii cross Lowii cross Burb cross Eddie. Really nice picture. That plant is so vigorous, that one. I've got three of the same cross, and it's the most vigorous out of the three by a long shot. Right, tenuous. What's not to like about tenuous? So this is the Borneo Exotics clone. Lovely little toilet. That's the Borneo Exotics one here. Then we've got next to it, we've got the Andy Smith clone. As you can see, there are tendrils going everywhere. If you own a tenuous, you're going to snap tendrils, because they just pop them. You can see they're absolutely everywhere. You're going to snap them at some point, especially if you grow in a small space like this. But you still got to grow them, because look at that. So that's actually the seed grown. Wait, let me go back to the Andy Smith one. Here's the Andy Smith one over the back here. I'm jumping ahead. There we go. Andy Smith clone. It stays a lot lighter. which I quite like because it gives you a contrast in comparison to the other ones. So there we go, Andy Smith clone of the tenuous, and that has got another tendril going all the way over the back there. It has got another tendril coming down here, and that'll get longer. It's got another one here that it's working on. Just see it there. And it's got another picture just here. Right, then we move on to the seed grown one. So that is the seed grown at the front here. And again, tendrils everywhere, but this is probably the best picture I've had on it so far. Really, really dark. There we go. Tenuous. If you haven't got one, every collection needs a tenuous. I kind of belittled Ollie at Scotland Carnivorous because he said this was his favourite species, and I saw he showed me pictures, and I was like, how is that your favourite? Out of all the pitcher plants out there, how is that your favourite? Once you open one, you kind of understand. You definitely understand. They're just a really nice thing. They're not my favourite, but they're definitely up there. Definitely up there. So I can definitely see why they're his favourite. We've got a Trusmardiensis cross Burbidiae. This thing is really, really stripy. The camera's not doing the best job at picking that up, but what else have we got on this one that we can show you? We have got, these are the other two Veitchii Mirror Burb Eddies. You know, the one that faded from yellow into red that I said I didn't really like to start with. This is another one. Nothing really, you know, it's nice enough, but in comparison to the other one's a lot better to me. I like that a lot more. And there is another one here actually, which is a red one. We have got a big collection of Palawanensis, just sat there. A little Rob Cantley. I'm just going to clean that lens a second, I think because it's so humid in here. I apologise for that. That's better. Because it's so humid in here, I think it's fogging up the lens actually. I did actually attempt to do this video yesterday, but I was making so many blunders, tripping over things, snapped tendrils. I got 20 minutes into the video and it was so warm in here as well. I thought I'll go away, try and do you a better video tomorrow, and I hope I've done that. Still not great, but it's going to be better than the one I tried yesterday. We have got the Veitchii cross Platykyla cross Candy Dreams. So this is actually crossed with Candy Dreams, the male Veitchii over in the States that everyone will know of. We've got 3 of those plants and they are all leaf jumping, so I'm looking forward to seeing the next pictures because I want to see how they progress. That's a little seed grown cross complex hybrid that I have grown. We've got here, this is a Viking cross Ampullaria cross Viking cross Ampullaria Black Miracle. So it's basically the 2 plants I've got up the top. What if they flowered? It's when I cross them, it'll be something like that, hopefully. Right down to, we'll leave that bottom shelf till last actually, because that's got some of the best crosses. They're not the biggest plants, it's got some really good crosses on there. We'll do this. This is a Veitchii 3734. This is the one you see here, flowered male. I've stood it up like this, so it's growing like a tree now, and it's got 2 massive basils on here. It is a plain green, but really nice bulbous shape to it, so it's staying for now anyway. There's the Gothica again. We have got a Rob Cantley cross Hamata. This one here, this particular plant, the gap in that is incredible. I usually see Rob Martins and there's quite a, they're quite close together, but for some reason, and it's not just that picture, it's all of them. So it's just that plant. That's actually a picture of the basil, that's the latest picture on the basil. We've got a complex hybrid from Andy that he said, cool, I've seen this plant, it's in my collection, it's one I've grown from seed, that has your name written all over it. Do you reckon he was right? Creamy coloured, squat, really fat and tubby. I think he was right. And that is Viking cross Raff, cross Veitchii, cross Lowii, cross Veitchii, cross Boschiana, cross Northiana. About 200 different parents in that plant. Right, we'll move down to the shelf. We've got a Sumatrana. Unfortunately, that picture's just going over, but we have got another one coming out. We've got a Mollis here that's just starting to find its feet because it's not been in the collection too long, about a month and a half. And when that pictures, the pictures on that are stunning. So again, one to look out for in future videos, that plant. And this is my shelf of Clippiatas. Now, I've probably mentioned it in previous videos, but Clippiata is right up there. My favourite species is Velosa, but Clippiata is right up there, probably second. These have been described as sort of functionally extinct now because there's just not enough of them in the wild. So I'm really hoping that in the future we can produce some horticultural seeds. It'd be lovely to introduce some of these back into the wild at some point. So really hoping that with the little collection that I've got, that we can make some seed in years to come from them. We've got here, so we've got Borneo Exotic one. These, they'll put on a growth spurt and then they'll just slow right down, and then they'll do another, just like that. Whereas the Christian Klein one in the middle here, that was smaller than them when I got it 7-8 months ago, it's just not stopped. It's just not stopped. And the only thing with them is that the lid kind of covers how beautiful the peristome and the underside of the lid is, because it sits there. Look at that picture, the shape of it. Absolutely stunning. And that has got a good sized basil on it as well. Then we've got some seed grown ones here. And what I like about this is Clippiatas are completely different in that once they get their sort of more mature leaves, the tendril comes out the centre, which is why you get this big dent, unlike any other pitcher plant, any other Nepenthes. So there's a few of them doing that now and creating this sort of divot. We've got a couple of Clippiata reds there, and then a couple of Clippiata cross Rainwatertianas. Now this is actually a natural hybrid that you get out there in the wild. So yeah, hopefully a couple of them will do well, and we'll see what they grow into. Come down to here, we have got Platykyla cross Rob Cantley. It has got that for some reason. Always, I don't know if it's picking it up on the video, but when I've got the video or a picture here, it's only this one light, and it's because it's the LED one. The rest, a lot of these other ones are not LED, and this one, I don't know if you'll see it, but the light goes like that on the video, on the screen for me at least. It might not do in the video. If it does, I'm sorry, but if it doesn't, that's what I'm seeing. It's going like that, the light is. So yeah, anyway, let me get back. This is a Platykyla Rob Cantley, working on a really nice picture down the back there. Next to it, a plant that I know people are probably getting tired of me saying this, but this is so underrated. This is Rob Cantley cross Alologies cross Spectabilis. You know, they're so cheap. £15 for a small little plant, fairly quick growing, and this is an aged picture on it. And this is the newest picture, a little while after they come out. It's starting to colour up now and age, but they're really bright with their stripes. I mean, look at that. Look at the shape on that. Every collection needs one of these. Rob Cantley cross Alologies cross Spectabilis. We have got a little jamban. Little toilets there. Pot of Rafflesiana that I've just not got space to unpot and pot them all individually at the moment. We've got a lovely Lowii here. There is another one of the Veitchii Burb cross Veitchii Lowii Burb Eddies. This one, I don't know if the camera will really pick it up. Yeah, it does. I thought it was a deficiency to start with, but it's been fed, and every leaf is getting this pattern, this sort of tiger stripe pattern to it. So I'm hoping that it will continue to do that. As you can see, I snapped the growth point luckily I didn't snap the next leaf in, I don't think, so it's going to take a little while to recover from that, but it is an absolutely stunning picture. It stays this kind of weird flare. Let me see if I can get this round for you to see. Weirdly flared like that, and if it keeps that pattern on the leaves as well, that's definitely a winner in the collection. That is not going anywhere, that plant. We've got one more little shelf here, and then we've got the main shelf, as I'll call it. There's a couple of new plants here. This is a really old Victorian cross Masterciana. Yeah, really old cross, that one. A little grassless at the back there, a jamban, some Ulu Callianus, Enigma, which is now, I think, is Barceloniae. They sort of said with that. 3 Argentii, and then this is another one of the Mark Griffin cross. This is the Veitchii cross Burb Platy. Oh, that thing is so sticky. But you can see, like I say, all of these have turned out lovely. Right, on to the final shelf. We'll do a quick little pan round so you can see how many plants are just on this shelf. I will go through them fairly quick, but I'm probably going to go through all of them pretty much on this shelf, because there's some real hard to get crosses on this. So at the back here, this big plant here, we've got Alyssa Petrana, which is a natural hybrid Raja cross Burbigiae. My favourite natural hybrid. I know there's a few people that don't agree with me on that being the best, but that is my favourite. We've got a couple of different Aristolochioides at the back here. We've got the BCP clone, and then we've got the Andy Smith clone next to it. These have been sulking since coming in here, but we have just got a new picture forming there on the Andy Smith clone. Next to it we have got Spectabilis Giant Cross. Is that Cross Edwardiana or Velosa? Velosa. Next to that we have got Raja Cross Lowii. That's doing really, really well. The pictures on this, I will get this one out actually, if I can, just to show you. Because the pictures on this are really nice. They start off quite light and then they darken right up. Let's pull that out actually, you'll be able to see it a lot better. There you go, look at that. Always quite sticky as well, that one. It does have little bits of striping from the Lowii, but yeah, that's growing really, really well. Leaf jumping every leaf now, and seems to be doing okay actually in my care. So it's that's a bit of a surprise. I didn't know how I'd do with that one. Next to that, we've got another one of the BCP mollis, the one I said we'll need to watch out for because that is going to be stunning. We have got an Attenborii. Next to that, we have got, there we go, that's better, you can see him now. Maxima Jeff Wong crossed with Haryana. That was a lovely swap / gift from Andy, because he grew these from seeds. It's got a lovely, in fact I'm not even pointing to it, that one. It has got a lovely leaf jump on it. Next to that we have got an Epiphypiata from Christian Klein. Growing well, but the leaves are just staying the same size, so I'm hoping we'll get some growth on that. We've got a tenuous cross Haryana next to it, just here, and a Spectabilis cross Lowii. The Spectabilis cross Lowii growing absolutely fine for me, but for some reason there's no pests on it. For some reason every picture on it so far has been deformed. It will just not put out a good picture for me. I don't know why. So if anyone has any ideas, if anyone's got that plant and it's doing the same for them, I would love to know, because it is just a plant that doesn't seem to want to put out a decent picture for me. We've got a couple of Attenborii cross Palawanensis. These I believe were a cross done by James Ellis, and a few seedlings were sent to Andy, and Andy's grown a few on, and he's very kindly given a couple to me for my collection. So yeah, they should be fantastic. In front of that we have got Lowii cross Edwardiana here. Really looking forward to that, very excited for it. We have got 3 plants here, this one, and this one. These are Pulchra cross Peltata, or Pulchra cross Peltata, a cross made by Mark Rouse, and I'm pretty certain there are only 5 of these in existence, because I think Mark is the only one who's done that cross before. I may be corrected. If I'm wrong, Mark, just say. But I think there's only 5. Mark's got 1 left. He grew from seed. I got some seeds off of Mark, and I've got 3. And Andy got some seeds off of Mark, and he's got 1. So I think there's only 5 in existence. So yeah, I feel I'm a bit nervous about them and growing them on. Then we've got, next to it, we have got just a complex hybrid. This one, Burbigier cross Lowii. Behind that we have got Lowii Trust Mardi. Then we have got the number 3 one there. That was a gift from Andy when he came. This is Burbigier cross Velosa. That is a plant I'm very, very excited to grow out. Cannot wait for that because they are looking awesome. We've got Nebularum cross Edwardsiana, Velosa cross Veitchii, the Veitchii cross Velosa, the reverse, then Velosa cross Robcantlii. Like I said, these shelves hit hard, these ones. And a Velosa cross Veitchii there. In fact, I'll get that one out because that is the Borneo Exotics cross of it, and it is doing really, really well. I've had this one longer than the others. So there we go. Very, very toothy. And got a new picture coming on it around this side. There we go. So yeah, doing really, really well. We will move on to the second part of the shelf because it's another load that hit very, very hard. We've got a few at the back there. We've got 3 lovely Lowii Maruds, recent import. They're just sort of finding their feet, putting their new leaves out. We've got a plant that's just never done that well for me. It keeps plodding on and keeps surviving, but doesn't get any bigger. This is Alisa Petrana, but back crossed with Burbigier. Hoping that starts to pick up. Right, we have got Trusmardiensis. Really looking forward to that one growing out. Hamata cross Velosa, there. Another Hamata cross Velosa. Spectabilis Giant cross. Is it cross? That's cross Velosa as well. Then we've got an Epiphyata cross Lowii. I don't know if we can. Yeah, there we go. Very, very stripy. I'm really looking forward to the lid hairs on that, lid bristles. We have got a Mirabilis globosa cross Ampullaria Black Miracle cross Velosa. We've got 3 of those here. So that is a cross. I've seen what they sort of turn into now. Short, fat, tubby, dark, really big teeth on them. Cannot wait for those. They should have a lot of variation as well, I'm hoping. We've got an Attenborough there, a Viking cross Ampullaria cross Rafflesiana, a couple more Attenboroughs. Then we've got a little Robcantlii here. Next to that we've got Hamata cross Edwardsiana, Hamata cross Harriana, Hamata cross Harriana. You can see they are very hairy and very toothy. Probably the plant I'm most nervous about growing because this should be fantastic. This is Velosa cross Lowii. Then we have got Hamata cross Edwardsiana, Macrophylla, and Edwardsiana. Then a few complex hybrids and a few seeds. So there we go. I said that last sort of tray would hit really hard because there are some real big hitters in there, and I'm really looking forward to growing them out. Right, let me turn back around. If you are still with me, thank you very much for listening to me sort of yabber on for an hour and 19 minutes now. Longest video I've done, but it has been a long while since I've done one, so I really needed to make a video just to, you know, show you guys that do like to watch my videos, show you guys what's changed in here, show you how ridiculously full the tent is, and yeah, hopefully I will get a lot better at doing these videos now and keep you guys updated, because if you're watching these videos and you're watching me for this amount of time, you probably deserve to be updated. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.